if we look back at the periodic table, this is periodic table. Brutus has got a hold of this periodic table. He can tell you to the corners. But remember again how it is set up. We have the metals over here, non-metals this way. Metal heads, remember. Woo! The metal heads this direction, and they lose their electrons. So metals, that's what makes a metal a metal. It's actually, they lose their electrons, become oxidized. They freely give up electrons. The non-metals over here, they hold on to their electrons. They are more like electron acceptors, so they gain electrons and then they're reduced. So remember, oxidation, lose electrons, you're oxidized, gain electrons, you're reduced. So Leo goes grrr, like Leo the lion goes growl, growling. So losing electrons, the electrons are flowing. And remember, electron flow is really what electricity is. So metals are good conductors of electricity. Electricity can pass through. They're also good conductors of heat. So heat passes through. So in metals can, the heat will go right through the metal. Now, non-metals are not good conductors of electricity. So because they hold on to the electrons. So electricity is when the electrons are flowing. Non-metals hold on to electrons, so they're not going to be flowing. And they also are not going to conduct heat as well. So they are called insulators. So insulators are substances that do not allow the conduction of heat. They hold on to the heat. They retain it. They don't just let it flow out. So if we think of steel itself is made of iron, carbon, other elements, mainly iron. Iron here is a metal. So it's a good conductor of heat. Heat's going to pass through it. It's not an insulator. Glass, which is silicon dioxide, really. Over here, non-metals. Insulation, more insulators. So glass is considered to be an insulator. It doesn't really let heat flow, it doesn't let electricity flow. It's not a conductor of heat, not a conductor of electricity. So it's considered an insulator. So here is a practice cast test question. A water bottle is often designed with a vacuum layer to provide insulation as shown. Okay, so here are two pictures, or here's a picture of the inside of the thermos or water bottle. Here's the outside of the water bottle. A foam insulating cover can be added. So here we have outer lining, inner lining, vacuum between. Several water bottles with a vacuum layer design are described in this table. Each bottle is the same size and has a steel outer lining. The inner lining can be made of different materials. So we're going to look at some different designs of these water bottles. So here we have the bottles. We're looking at 4 of them. Here we have the inner lining material and if it has the foam insulating cover or not. Students are asked to make a claim about which design will meet 2 criteria. The bottle must be break resistant and must keep the water hot for the longest time. They're also asked to provide a supporting statement for their claim. Okay, so which student claim and supporting statement are about the design that best meets the two criteria? So the criteria are like the requirements. And the requirements are that it has to be break resistant and it's got to keep the water hot. Okay, so if we look at, here we have possibilities there. So, bottle 1, it has an unbreakable steel inner lining. Okay, well this would meet one of the criteria. So this would meet the being unbreakable. However, it has nothing, it doesn't tell anything about insulation. So that would not be a claim that supports, well, that would not be addressing the two criteria. Bottle 2, it has a glass inner lining, which is a better insulator. So it has a glass inner lining. So in this case now, it is talking about the insulation, but it's not talking about it being unbreakable. Bottle 3 is it has an unbreakable steel inner lining and a foam cover that will keep the water hot for the longest time. Okay, so here we're addressing the unbreakable, the fact that it's unbreakable, and we're also addressing the insulation. Bottle 4, it has a glass inner lining and a foam cover that will keep the water hot for the longest time. Okay, so in this case, bottle 4 has a glass inner lining. So glass is a good insulator. And a foam cover that will keep the water hot. So it's not really addressing anything about being unbreakable though. So the answer, the one that would meet the two criteria of being unbreakable and being a good insulator, would be bottle C.